Hello, survivors. Welcome to the State of Decay 2 stream. I'm your host, Geoffrey Card. I'm back after a month on sabbatical. I'm so excited to be here. We've got the patch notes for Update 23 today. The folks that I left behind, Joe Swarner, special thank you to him for hosting and producing the stream while I was gone. He went through the Lethal Zone, he went through the Stay Frosty pack, but there is so much more than just those two things in Update 23. And so today, Brant and I are going to be going through all of it. Hey, Brant.
Hello, everybody. Great to see you all.
Brant is there floating through a cloud. He's actually flying through the air with the greatest of ease, and he is going to be here to answer to funnel your questions to us, and also to read the patch notes, because I am going to be playing the game. I'm going to be playing in the Lethal Zone live on the air. You all get to find out how bad I am at my own game. It's going to be amazing. Brant, I hear that you've had some fun experiences in the Lethal Zone over the past few days.
Oh, boy. So, as some of you know, I like to play with members of the community, and I was playing with Fallout Girl and Janimal and Carter the other day, and they usually let me drive because I know the maps, and I was like, no problem. I was in for a total of 30 seconds, jumped in the car, drove over a hill, and killed two of them by running into three bloaters. So playing with developers may not be all it's cracked up to be, is all I'm saying.
So today we're going to be bringing, this is a community that I've played on the air many, many times. We've taken them through the Standard Zone, into the Dread Zone. We've shown off a lot of different newly released weapons and outfits on these guys. And now we're going to take them into the Lethal Zone, which is a little bit scary. But before we do that, we actually issued, I think just a few days ago, right around the release of Update 21, which was earlier this week. And I know a lot of you have already been playing the Lethal Zone. Some of you might not feel like you even need to listen to these patch notes. But we've got a lot more details here than you can even see in the game. So stick around. Anyway, we released a dev diary alongside the update. And so if you missed it, if you didn't watch it before, I'm going to put that on the air first to sort of set the stage, and then we're going to go run around in the Lethal Zone.
The advice I would give to players trying this out is expect to die.
From the first moment that we started talking about adding a more accessible difficulty level to the game, which ended up being Green Zone, we were distracted in every single meeting talking about adding a harder difficulty level, knowing that our veteran players wanted something. As we started developing difficulty sliders, we knew that eventually we just couldn't resist adding this difficulty level.
By and large, what you're going to find for lethal difficulty is that the combat's been ramped up, the map has fewer resources, we've replaced the freaks with blood plague versions, and decreased the drop rate of plague samples. We wanted it to be a test of the mastery of all the mechanics in the game, and for those of you who played the game for a long time, you know that there are a lot of mechanics in the game.
Taking care of a live game while developing something new was something that our small team really had to focus on and take care of to make sure that we weren't going to be leaving anybody wanting in terms of quality, whether it is from a previous release or from our upcoming release. It's going to be a trip, and I think people who think highly of themselves are going to be taken aback at how much we've just ratcheted things up.
So we started out our beta program with the difficulty sliders, and we knew that we couldn't do a Lethal Zone without having a beta and getting that player feedback, because it's our most hardcore players that want this zone and are going to help us balance it.
And so what's exciting for me is I feel like there's danger in the game again, and that I actually have to use everything at my disposal that I have gained about the game in order to be successful in a Lethal Zone. We knew that a lot of people wanted it, so good luck out there.
Wow, my old hair. What in the world was I thinking? So here we are. This is the difficulty selection screen. I think you're all pretty familiar with this sucker. So I think what we're going to start with is what the patch notes say about Lethal Zone, because here on this screen we actually have pretty limited space. We can't always give you all the details about what's different from one difficulty zone to the next. And so Brant's got right in front of him. He's got the patch notes, and he can sort of walk us through in detail with actual numbers and receipts what is changing, what has changed in the Lethal Zone.
All right, we're going to be pretty clinical with this because we got a bit to get through. So combat is murderously unfair. All sources deal plus 100% damage to the player. Just as a comparison, Nightmare is plus 60%. So yeah, it's a lot more. Infection gains from zombie attacks are plus 100%. Let's see, but as a note, the infection from plague consumables is unchanged from Nightmare. That's what's been killing me in Nightmare is infection.
Yeah, same here.
Or sorry, in Lethal.
Yeah, in my Lethal playthrough at home, like, I haven't lost any characters yet, but I do have to shove them into the infirmary constantly to keep them alive.
Oh yeah, and because the plague sample drops are nearly impossible to find, that's what's been killing my guys.
Yeah, I can't get enough cure to keep them alive.
Let's see.
Speaking of which,
zombies can cause nearly twice as many different injuries as they do at lower difficulties, leading to deeper injury stacks piling up.
Yeah, I should explain that a little bit. So this is something we don't talk about all the time, but you can't get two of the same injury from a zombie. And so most zombies, they only do one type of injury or maybe two types of injuries to you. So once they've done those injuries, that's it. They can't injure you anymore. They can still do trauma damage, but they can't give you those discrete injuries that take sort of extra effort and a tougher infirmary in order to recover from it. And so in Lethal Zone, we basically doubled the number of injuries that each zombie is capable of delivering, which means you can end up with way more things wrong with you than you could in the earlier difficulty levels. I think you might have skipped one. The fact that Blood Plague kills survivors in 5 minutes instead of 10.
Oh yeah, I did skip that one.
That's why I gotta shove people in the infirmary.
Yeah, build your infirmary. Sorry, I did miss that. 5 minutes. It's ruthless. Dodging costs 100% more stamina. Vehicles, and this is a rough one. Vehicles take 300% plus 300% damage from hitting or getting hit by zombies, in comparison to plus 160 to 180% in Nightmare.
Yeah, that was actually one. Originally, that one was higher. We went to the beta program with it up at like plus 400 or 500%. And basically, you would just hit a couple of, I think it was like 3 or 4 zombies, and your car would explode. And I thought it was hilarious. But we got feedback from the beta players that they're like, that's just not even fun at that point. And so we cranked it back to the point where it was still harder than Nightmare, but not just a disaster for anyone playing the game.
Let's see. Okay. Moving on to the Undead. They're terrifying. All freaks are replaced by the Blood Plague freaks from Heartland. Yeah, I made the mistake of, I forgot that we did that even in Nightmare. At least some of the freaks were replaced in Nightmare. The first thing I saw out of the corner of my eye was a red zombie. I'm like, oh, it's Nightmare. No problem. Ran over it. It was a bloater.
Yeah, that was sort of so originally when so Brian also took a long vacation around the same time that I did, and so he went through and he added all the Blood Plague freaks into the Lethal Zone, but then he left it to me, and the one change that I made to the spawn rates was I went and I snuck some of them into the Nightmare Zone too. So even if you don't advance to Lethal, you're still going to start seeing more Blood Plague freaks in Nightmare. It's going to be the bloaters and the screamers. On Dread, nothing changed. You're still just juggernauts in Dread.
Gun noise is raised by plus 150%, bringing even more zombies.
As you can see on my mini-map, whenever my friends fire their guns, there's some big old radii coming out of those guys.
Yeah. Zombies will now chase sound for up to 5 minutes.
Yeah,
so
they'll follow you across the map. It's great.
Yes, they will follow you. Nightmare was 1 minute. So 5 minutes, yeah, it's crazy.
Now, if you break line of sight with them, they'll go as far as they last saw you, and then they won't know where else to go. So you can still hide from them, but you can't just, just run for a certain amount of time in the straight line and expect them to give up.
Right. Baseline siege threat at your base starts at 8 in compared to 5 in Nightmare. So you're basically SOL when you start. Let's see. Plague hearts are extremely tenacious and dangerous. Destroying a plague heart does not kill all the nearby plague zombies, which I didn't know that.
It was one of the last changes we made to the lethal zone. It got in there right at the last second.
So thanks for that.
Oh,
way to go.
No! Oh, I didn't recognize that was a bloater. Oh, no. Okay.
This could end badly for you already.
Look, this character was not sick at all when I got in the car. Look at what that bloater just did to this character. She is almost at fully infected now. And she had to vacate the car. Oh, these guys are coming for me. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
you better exit.
Cloud's gone. I'm getting back in the car. Ugh. Good thing we put that disinfectant, deodorizer in the car.
Right.
Anyway, continue.
Plague hearts take significantly less damage. Note that melee is now a bit more effective than other options rather than less. Get up close and personal if you dare.
Yeah, so that we wanted to make plague hearts, tougher to kill, but at some point, just making something into a bullet sponge doesn't make it any more fun to fight, and we recognized that. And so what we did was, instead of just making it harder to kill a plague heart across the board, we made it harder to kill with the faster, cheaper, safer options. So, your C4, your grenades, that kind of stuff doesn't work nearly as well. But getting up close and personal, putting yourself at risk with a heavy weapon, that still works. So we encourage you to do that and put yourself right in the middle of that building, kill the plague heart, and then watch as the other plague zombies do not die. And they're still surrounded by plague zombies, and you got to find a way out of there.
That was an eye-opening experience the first time. I was looking out at the sea of red zombies chasing me, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll just kill the plague heart, and everything will be fine. Well, nothing was fine. It wasn't fine at all. Okay, let's see. Moving on to the lethal map. About 70 to 80% of the houses and buildings are pre-looted, so there's not much left for you to get. There are 0 non-guaranteed resource drops of any time. That means you only get the resources you expect from looking at a site's flyout on the map screen.
Yeah, no finding just a random, like medical bag in somebody's house. Like, you got to go to the places that serve these things, and that's it.
Let's see. The map only has 33% of the normal number of vehicles. So they are few and far between. They are a precious resource.
Yeah.
And when you do find them, they're always out of gas and seriously damaged. So we don't want anything to be easy. No free rides here.
Yeah, you got to earn every single benefit you got.
There are 3 times the number of plague hearts. That's...
Yeah, we're going to show you that. So right now, I'm just running around with lethal action. Once we've shown you, Cash Beaumont's offerings, we're going to switch into a full-on new lethal zone map. And unfortunately, we're not actually going to be able to show you right up front how many plague hearts there are because, of course, they're hidden at the beginning. But it's a ridiculous number of plague hearts.
It is. It's a stupid number of plague hearts. And you guys can blame yourselves for this. That's all I'm saying, right? Because people were getting too good at Nightmare. We were getting a lot of messages that said, it's too easy, I'm not challenged. So here you go. Okay, community, your survivors know they're doomed. All survivors have a negative 30 morale penalty compared to negative 15 in Nightmare. All survivors gain experience at negative 60% of their normal rate. All survivors gain standing at negative 40% the normal rate. So you're not going to promote your heroes and get those hero bonuses quite as quickly as you could. Resources are consumed more quickly. Survivors consume 2 food each per day.
One thing I should mention, by the way, about those experience rates. So, right now, like you said, they're minus 60, right? So originally, Nightmare was minus 50, and we actually got a lot of complaints that that characters were progressing so slowly, it was actually really frustrating. And so what we did was instead of adding some ridiculous slowdown to it in Lethal, we made Lethal only a little bit harder than it was in Nightmare, and then we actually lightened up on Nightmare. Nightmare is now at minus 30% instead of minus 50%. So if you still want to play in Nightmare, your characters are going to be advancing more quickly than they did before. But if you like the old rate, come join us in Lethal.
And because we're not total jerks, food outposts provide 2 food to compensate.
Yeah, so you can still basically 1 food outpost equals 1 survivor, like always.
Let's see. Other costs at the base are increased over Nightmare in a couple areas. Ammo costs are 150%. Plus 150%. Material costs are plus 150%. Parts costs are plus 100%. Weapon repairs cost plus 50%. And then vehicle fuel efficiency is reduced by 25%.
Yeah, so one thing that I find myself doing is just avoiding conflict a lot more in the lethal zone. Or doing things like this where it's like, it doesn't cost you any weapon durability to kill something with your close combat weapon. I find myself really worrying about my resources and just not using things, not using a car, not using a weapon, not using a gun if I don't have to because everything's more expensive. And that actually feels like sort of the mindset you should have when you're, trying to survive in a zombie apocalypse.
I was worried about the knees and hip joints of my characters because I spent the entire first couple of days in my new community crouching.
Just in this exact position right here.
Yeah, it's not good on your knees to do that.
No, it's not.
Okay, so now we have some other difficulty changes. That sort of wraps up most of the big lethal by the numbers kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We have other difficulty changes, and some of these are from the wish list, so we're still looking at that, people. Nightmare action now features blood plague screamers and bloaters. You may have noticed that already, as I found out when I drove over a blood plague bloater in my nightmare thinking it was just a regular old blood plague zombie.
Yeah, I saw a tweet or a Facebook message or something from somebody who said, hey, they accidentally switched me to the lethal zone. Look at these blood plague bloaters in my nightmare game. I was like, nope, they're in nightmare now.
Blood plague bloaters now do half as much plague damage on exploding, because otherwise they were literally instant death when hit by a vehicle in lethal zone.
Yeah, you can see right here, like, this is how much damage that one blood plague bloater did to me at lethal action. And that was me, like, I jammed the Y button, got out of that car as fast as I possibly could. It nearly completely infected me. So what was happening before we halved it, the amount of plague damage those guys were doing would basically, they would put you over the edge, then they would also kill you. They would also progress the death meter all the way to the end before you could get out of the car. And so that was ridiculous. So instead we're balancing that out by, they do less plague damage, but they also do a worse injury to your character.
Burning lungs.
Burning lungs, yes. I'm not sure if I've actually... I might have lucked out and not gotten the... Oh, no, I did get burning lungs. So,
Yep.
it's not as bad as some other things that can happen, but still not that fun.
Blood plague screamers also have a new injury they apply. It's called chemical burn.
Yeah, and that was, again we had a weird problem with the screamers. So because, like I said earlier, you can't get more than one of the same injury. And so those screamers in Heartland, they were relying on the fact that you couldn't get more than one injury. And actually, their vomit attack was doing so much, was basically every few frames they were giving you an injury again and again and again and again, but most of the time nothing happened, or you got just a little bit of trauma because injuries couldn't stack. But basically, now that we're actually giving you such a large amount of trauma per injury, I feel like it's a plane flying over or something. I'm getting some noise. I don't know if you can hear it. Anyway, it's distracting me. Anyway, because you get so much more trauma per stacked up injury in the lethal zone, if you got vomited on by a blood plague screamer, it just completely murdered you in one shot. It was really bad. So we had to change how that worked.
So we've got a question. What are the spawn rates of hostile enclaves? Were those increased at all?
No. So those are basically they're mission driven, and so because those are based on missions, it's either missions expiring or them being spawned for some purpose in a mission. Those we didn't change the spawn rates or anything of missions at all. So you should see hostile enclaves at about the same rate. Though because everything does more damage, they are more deadly. So each one is more deadly than they were before.
We've reduced the prevalence of crossbows across the board.
Yeah, I'd heard complaints about that pretty. Yeah, go ahead.
It's just saying, crossbows kind of became a joke. They were everywhere. Like everybody in State of Decay just loves playing with crossbows.
Yeah, and I mean, in real life, there are a lot of people who love playing with crossbows. It's understandable. But at the same time, they were actually, not only were there a lot of crossbows in the standard zone, when you got into Dread and Nightmare, the number of crossbows actually went up. And that was partly just because when we first released them, we wanted to make sure that people who needed crossbows, who wanted the most silent possible weapons with renewable ammunition, we thought that people in those higher zones would want to see them more, so we wanted to make sure they would spawn. But then it just sat there for a really long time, and so we've gone back to it, and now you get fewer and fewer crossbows as you climb the difficulty levels.
See, now I'm wishing we had lots of crossbows again, because I cringe every time I have to pull the trigger in Lethal.
Oh yeah, we got some friends over here.
Fuel efficiency now lives on the community slider instead of the map slider.
Oh yeah, and that was just it's because we didn't exactly design our game around. Oh whoa! I did not see that guy. That's gonna be a problem. Because we did not design. Oh crap! Everyone knows I'm here now. Well, I was going to talk to Cash Beaumont, but maybe I need to beat a quick retreat? Oh my gosh, okay. Hold on. Ah, nope. Okay, so the main thing that I've learned playing in Lethal Zone is you just cannot afford to get hit. Period. Ow. Oh, I've almost got Blood Plague. This is a problem. Oh no.
You got 5 minutes, buddy.
Okay, time to get back to the base. Well, I had this whole point I was about to make, but I've completely forgot what it was now. Oh no, I've got a zombie on the car. At least it's not on the engine. That's good. All right, we're gonna head back home.
While you're
this
heading
is
back
my
to
leader.
base. Well, that was a choice you made.
It really
to bring your
was.
leader out.
There's a whole horde here.
While you're getting back to base, I would like to take this time to talk about how we are optimized for the Xbox Series X and S.
Yes.
To support the release of the new Series X and S consoles, we've been working hard to improve performance and visual quality on these devices. We hit a solid 60 frames per second at full 4K or 1080p on the Series S. And then I have some notes here that are more specific. So let's see. We shipped a quick patch to unlock the frame rate on day one. Update 23 takes it further and improves the visual quality across the board. And then some of the specifics are we increased the LOD distances so that more high-res geometry gets drawn. So you should see less pop-in or less noticeable, going from simple models to more detailed models. We've got, let's see, we sharpened up some of the texture detail. We fixed some rendering bugs. We have a smoother dynamic resolution system that works to maintain the 60 FPS with fewer spikes and frame drops.
What? No!
And we've also adjusted the way HDR rendering works to improve HDR quality. There's been a couple things that have been brought up. One is somebody beat the Lethal Builder and didn't get their boon. If that's the case, it's a bug, and we'll definitely get on that. Other people are noticing it seems like Gunslinger isn't quite as effective. Part of that might be because you're using more stamina, but we're going to look into that as well. That's something that I feel like I noticed a little bit of, so we're definitely taking a look at some of those things.
Yeah, that is one of the issues when you're trying to support a game long term, pretty much every change you make has the risk of breaking something else that you just don't even think to check. And so, it's one of the, it's not like, it's not the best way to maintain a stable game is to constantly be adding new features to it, but it's a risk that we feel like, we're willing to take in order to keep this game going and keep it expanding and growing and getting better. But that means that now and then we'll hit something where we accidentally made it a little bit worse in one way or another. But whenever we find out about that, we always try to jump on it and get it fixed as soon as we can.
Yep. Why stop changing stuff now? We're
Okay, so I got my leader in the infirmary. I don't want to actually change to lethal map now. Because I love my leader. I want to keep her alive. Okay, wait a minute. I didn't actually check to see if we've got cure. Maybe we've got some cure. Maybe we can still make this work.
Wait a minute. Was that Nightmare?
That was lethal. I'm at lethal action. I'm just not at lethal anything else.
I see. Okay.
Okay. Oh, we do have some cure. We do have cure. Okay, I can go save her. Awesome. Okay, good.
We also released the new bounty pack, the Stay Frosty pack, and I know we have a stream on it. I'll just sort of reiterate what went into it. The Cold Turkey Shotgun, which is basically a sniper shotgun, and also some of my best material work in my entire career. So
it's really nice. I've seen a lot of people say it's their new favorite gun, Brant. So congratulations on that achievement.
Midnight Solstice, which is a very light. All the stuff here is super lightweight. That was sort of the theme. A lightweight survival crossbow, and what's super cool about this crossbow is that because it's so light, it has a lot more drop, and so it takes a lot more sort of practice and skill getting used to long range shooting with that thing, but it's a lot of fun. The Deep Artini which is a short barreled rifle. The Samurai SMG, which is super fun and cool to play with. Let's see, the PDW. There's the HBSD Blackout, which is a really nice suppressed rifle, assault rifle. The Snow Fox, the Oto Howitzer, which is a big 50 cal.
The Oto Howitzer is probably my favorite weird thing that we put on this gun list. It's a 50 cal that's short range. It's just for walking up to something and just destroying it in person.
Yeah, and it's named after Jawa's dog, Joe's dog, Oto, who is sadly, since nobody's here anymore at the office, I don't get to see everyone else's dogs anymore, like Wonders and everybody's dog. But Oto was my buddy.
He is the sweetest old greyhound. We love that guy.
He was the best at running up to pretend like he was happy to see me, and then at the last second veering off and ignoring me. Let's see. We've got the tactical walking stick.
I love that one, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
just the name of it is great.
It's a cane, but then you can brain somebody with it.
A braining cane.
That's a braining. Let's get Mark on the pun. Let's get Mark on the pun for that. We've got the Yukon Pathbreaker, a new axe. We've got the maintenance bench, which you install this facility mod, spend a few parts to temporarily reduce the durability loss on your weapons. That's all weapons. So
which is good, especially because you got your weapons don't last quite as long in the higher difficulty levels, and so yeah, even more importantly, the parts to repair them cost a lot more, and so so having that is going to be pretty helpful.
Yeah, that one's going to be good in lethal. Let's see. And then a super cool winter camo tactical uniform and a boonie hat to go with it. And yes, we're well aware that we've put a lot of snow-themed weapons in this pack, and we don't have snow in the game, but they're still cool to look at. So don't give us any crap.
I think I just heard a feral. I'm just going to try to go over some hills, break some sight lines. Where is this guy?
It's important to point out that it's time that with the release of this, it's time to say farewell to the World War II pack.
Yep.
At least for now.
Our original bounty pack, the very first one we ever made. It didn't, well, as our first weapon pack, I guess it didn't really have bounties at first.
No, there was no bounties, but it was our first sort of weapon add-on. But that being said, later this month,
Oh crap! I'm out of
that
gas.
means, uh-oh,
Oh crap!
you're dead.
I'm screwed. I was
You
not
are
paying
so dead.
attention. I didn't bring any gas.
So the go bag pack is the next one to go. Make sure if you haven't done it, go finish up those bounties or purchase extra copies of the compensating suppressor and whatever else you want. There's also that super awesome backpack that goes with it. So go out and get your extra copies of that until it comes back into circulation.
The crap am I gonna do now? I am getting myself in so much trouble. So I came over here because I wanted to go see. I think I can get some. I think I can claim an outpost and get some gas. But yeah, I came out here to go check out. Cash, see all of his bounties. Usually we don't actually show the bounties on the stream because we've usually cheated ourselves all the weapons already, and so that means that the bounties don't show up. But I was going to go over the bounties real quick, but first I have to survive the road there, and there is just no space in this world that is not filled with zombies at all time. All right, so I think we've just got through. Did we just get through all the boilerplate from previous streams?
Yes.
Sweet. Let's talk about some new stuff.
So we've added some achievements. I don't know if we want to talk about those.
Oh yes.
So there's Lilac and Spoiled Gooseberries, which is kill 25 blood plague bloaters.
Yeah, so let me talk about that because so originally we have the 3 achievements for Heartland for killing 25 of each of the plague freaks, but we didn't. Those only worked in Heartland, and for some reason we never did one for the plague bloaters. And so this new one is just to add plague bloaters to the list. And further down the patch notes, you'll see we also took those achievements that were Heartland only and made them also work in the core game. So now you can get credit for killing 25 of each of the plague freaks in the core game, in addition to Heartland, including the bloaters. Those of you who are Witcher fans might enjoy the reference in the name, though. I forgot what it's called. Like, was it something in Spoiled Blueberries? I forgot what the original. Barley and Spoiled Blueberries, I think that's the name of the original achievement, just for killing bloaters. That was a reference to Bastion, where the sort of gas bag enemies, the narrator says that they smelled like barley and spoiled blueberries. This one is called Lilac and Spoiled Gooseberries, as a reference to what the love interest in The Witcher smells like.
Nice.
So enjoy that, everybody who's just into every possible geek reference you can sneak into a property. Oh, crap. More zombies. Okay, I'm getting out of here.
The next one is Bless Me Now with Your Fierce Tears, which is begin a session with minimum difficulty set to lethal.
Yeah, go ahead and Google that phrase if you want to get some poetry humor. Basically, all of our achievements for playing at higher difficulty levels are references to the same poem. And so we managed to find another line that sounded scary.
A fan favorite, the Barbershop Quartet. Kill each one of the 4 blood plague freaks with minimum difficulty set to lethal.
Yep. So you got to get a hat trick. You got to get all of the you got to get all the options. But you don't have to do them in the same session. You don't have to do them with the same community. As long as you have killed one of each of them, you're good.
And the achievement art for that is amazing.
Oh, yes. Actually, the reason I named it Barbershop Quartet wasn't just because it was 4 things, but it was also because I wanted to see what Kevin Pun was going to draw. And he did not disappoint. Actually, all of the achievement art for these new achievements is great. I love the one actually for starting a session in the lethal zone, because it's a guy being dipped into a frying pan. It's awesome.
I've got a note from Henry, the product director. He says, Heartland achievements are still only in Heartland. We pulled the patch note, but
Sorry
not
about
from
that.
my patches.
So I'm sorry about that, getting that wrong. So that was our original intent. It turns out changing achievements that are live in the wild is very hard, and there were some technical problems that stood in the way of that. And I did not realize that that was the final version that we shipped. So yeah, so it turns out you can only still get those original Heartland achievements in Heartland, but the one for the Blood Plague bloaters, I'm pretty sure you can get anywhere. So there you go. Well, we're here at the Bounty Broker, so let's have a look at these bounties. So right now, I've already unlocked the Boonie Hat, and I forgot what I did. But right now, I'm working on unlocking the Tactical Uniform, the Winter Camo Tactical Uniform, which is killing zombies with fire. Not that hard, actually, provided that you can get enough fuel to make enough Molotovs, which is a little bit of a problem if you're playing on a lethal map. Looks like killing hordes is what you do to get the Samurai SMG. Not that bad unless you're in the lethal zone, and even facing a horde is a challenge. Killing freaks with rifles, I would recommend firing at screamers and bloaters because they can do a lot less to you than the other ones who just get mad. Killing, again, zombies with rifles, no big deal at all to get the DeBartini. Kill one feral with a blade. Killing a feral in the lethal zone, period, is something you should shy away from doing. But there you go.
These are all best. If you're in lethal, these are all best done with friends.
Yeah. And that's for getting the Yukon Pathbreaker. The Midnight Solstice. Looks like it's killing zombies with crossbows. That's honestly the best way to kill the zombies. Is they never knew you were there. That's how you should kill zombies in the lethal zone. If they know you're there, you're in big trouble. Killing a plague heart with a shotgun. Much harder to do in the lethal zone than it is at the other levels. That's
yes,
for the cold
many
turkey.
a survivor perished attempting to do that, actually.
And then crafting crossbow bolts, no big deal. That's how you get the maintenance bench. And then killing 2 juggernauts with assault weapons. So that's any weapon that has got the word assault in the name of its type. And there's a few different types. There's assault shotguns, assault pistols, general assault weapons. But I believe all of those should work for killing those juggernauts and getting the HBSD blackout. So there you go. all of that risk and death, I'm sure, was worth it to give you guys screenshots of Cash introducing these bounties you can already unlock in the game. Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna go find an outpost so that I can get some gas.
All right, I'm going to move on to stuff that we've pulled off the wish list.
Please.
One, we've overhauled the value of prestige, which is the currency awarded in Daybreak for those of you who have played. To make each Daybreak session more rewarding and to add more Clio to make Clio firearms more economically viable in the main game if you call in the Daybreak trader and pick up those weapons, because man, it started to add up. If you bought a lot of Clio ammo or stuff like that, you were really spending your prestige fairly quickly.
Yeah, so the main, I mean, there's a lot of details there. I don't know, do you want to just read through the details, or I can just sort of characterize them at a high level?
I can read through them because that's really, really interesting to hear. So, you should now expect a given Daybreak session to award you about twice as much prestige as it did before. All your means of obtaining ammunition for Clio weapons in the core game have been made more affordable. Red Talon crafting stations can now craft Clio ammo without charging prestige. It only costs ammo, which is amazing. We're going to start seeing more Clio weapons being used in base game.
That was the main thing. It's like the thing we didn't want to have happening in the game anymore was people feeling like the only way they could even the only way they could even manage to use a Clio weapon is if they were constantly playing Daybreak in order to sort of feed the beast, in order to keep generating the ammo they needed. And we felt like, you know what? Everything else you get from Daybreak, besides those weapons, you can just keep using them and maintaining them. Like, once you've unlocked them in Daybreak, you can go play the core game for a long time and not have to go back to Daybreak in order to keep maintaining them, except those guns. And so we're like, you know what? Let's put the guns in the same category as everything else. Let's say once you get the gun, you can get the ammo. Oh my gosh!
Oh boy!
You can get the ammo a ton of different ways, and I think maybe only one of the ways you can get it benefit from you having prestige. I think if you want to buy it from the Red Talon trader, it costs prestige, and that's it. That's the only place where it costs prestige. Everywhere else, In fact, I think I'm probably just sort of stealing the thunder for some patch notes Brant was going to read.
You pretty much covered it. I mean, yeah, the Prestige Trader now costs half as much to buy ammo.
So you earn prestige twice as fast, and you spend half as much on the ammo. So it's still much cheaper.
And the Clio Relay can now call in Clio ammo drops for an influence cost, not a prestige cost.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and rebuild the Clio Relay and run around with Clio weapons. Let's see. We've also updated the reward tiers in Daybreak to loosen up the requirements.
Oh, yeah.
So this means you can now unlock more powerful items at Wave 3 and 5. The only reward item that requires you to win Daybreak to unlock is the Clio Relay.
And so this was a little bit hidden under the surface. It wasn't extremely clear up front how this actually worked. But basically, when you beat, I think it was when you beat level 3, wave 3, wave 5, and wave 7, which is the final wave of Daybreak. That's when you would unlock prizes. And so a lot of people, Daybreak is hard, and they would get only to wave 3, and they would unlock prizes, and then at some point they would run out of prizes that they could unlock at wave 3. And then they had to start winning wave 5 in order to keep getting the fancier prizes. Now, a lot of those Wave 5 prizes have moved down into Wave 3, so you can keep unlocking them without getting as far. And then a lot of the Wave 7 prizes, nearly all of them, have moved down into Wave 5, so that you can unlock them without winning Daybreak. And like you said, the only thing you have to win Daybreak to get is the Clio Relay. That's it. So you can actually get nearly every other prize from Daybreak, never winning Daybreak, which is, I think, going to be a boon for Daybreak solo players. A lot of whom, just have struggled to be able to get to the end of Daybreak without a lot of backup from other players who are experienced with the game.
Okay, and we've also heard, this is a little bit minor, more minor than the others, but this is also from the wish list, kind of. The mysterious wandering trader can show up on Mondays now. To help people with their schedules, different schedules. So if you're not on the weekend, or if you have to work on the weekends, now you got Monday to buy your skill books or whatever the crazy mysterious wandering trader shows up with.
Yeah, your weird exotic weapons, stuff like that. Yeah, so that was we were getting a lot of comments from players who were basically telling us that because they worked a strange shift, or because they worked over the weekends. Sometimes there are some players out there who love our game who only play on, say, Tuesdays through Thursdays, and that's the only opportunity they have to game. And we didn't want sort of the complexities of your just everyday life to prevent you from getting everything out of the game that we could. So we, even though we want this trader to be rare, we didn't want him to be so rare that some players just couldn't get him at all. So a lot of the feedback we got said that if he came on Mondays, that would satisfy a lot of most players' concerns. And so we extended it to Mondays, and hopefully that'll work for a lot of folks. And yeah, because the stuff that guy offers is pretty good stuff. So we're glad that more people are going to be able to get it.
We fixed some minor UI stuff. Let's see. I'm just trying to keep up with this here. The in-world mission markers that we originally used for the opening missions in Providence Ridge now apply to all missions throughout the game.
Oh yeah, so I turned that off because I was illustrating something to somebody in the pre-show. So let me turn that back on again. So show in-world objective icons. This is going to be on by default when you get the update. I turned it off manually. This is where you turn it off if you don't want this. But players have a lot of different ideas about where they would like their HUD to appear. For me, originally, I really like seeing it on the minimap because it keeps it out of the middle of the screen. You know where to look in order to see it. But if you don't want to see it, you just look away from that corner and you're mostly, immersed in the world. But for a lot of players, actually having it up, visible in the world, is a lot more useful. And so that means they don't have to look at the minimap all the time. They can keep their attention in the center of the screen. And so originally we only did it for the very early missions in Providence Ridge, because testing every single mission to make sure that it didn't have weird, messed up icons in the world, that was going to be more than we could afford to do. We needed to spend that time testing other things, and also if we found any problems, we were going to need to spend our code time fixing other things. So we kind of have been sitting on this one for a while. People who played through the original tutorial in Providence Ridge have already seen icons like this. They know that these are in the game. They just weren't in most of the missions of the game. But now we actually did sort of have the time to sit down, do all the testing we needed to do, fix a lot of the sort of the little edge cases and bugs, and add a little bit more tooling to help us get these things right. And once we spent that time, we basically unlocked it for every single mission in the game. So now if you want to see icons out there on your screen for missions, you can have them now. They're right there.
Okay, and this is a flash notice. When 23 came out, there was a new crash bug that could occur when loading into some communities, or if the character you were playing tried to leave the base. We fixed that for everybody this morning, and the latest version of the game, as of right now, should be stable again.
Okay, cool. So if you ran into that bug, awesome. It should basically be fixed now. To start up the game fresh, and it should work.
Yeah. Let's see. There's one of my favorite notes in this patch notes is when your survivors start a new campaign complaining that they are out of gas, you can no longer immediately open the trunk of their vehicle and find that it is full of gas and that your survivors are idiots.
Yes. So this was something we got comments from a lot of players about this, and to me, it felt like every time I started a new community, it would happen. Every single time, my characters would say, "Oh man, we're out of gas. We have to pull over in this little town." And then I would open up the trunk, and it is full of gasoline. I'm like, "What is wrong with you people?" And so it turned out we actually had to kind of drill down into how that vehicle was spawned, and there's a lot of weird details we had to figure out in order to make that stop happening. It was more challenging than I kind of expected it to be. But once we figured it out, and so now you should never ever ever get gas in that car.
Oh boy, you said never.
Well, tell me seriously. If you get gas in that car, you tell me, and I will go and try to. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not gonna let that bloater get.
Snake, don't run. Oh.
Every single zombie scares me now. Like it used to be that if I just saw a regular zombie, I'd be like, whatever. Now I'm just like, if I see somebody, I'm like, this is trouble. Goodbye.
We fixed some other small things around facilities, like the staging area. The action. Sorry, I'll read this verbatim. The actions on the staging area that accelerate build times now only take 5 seconds to trigger instead of half an hour, which was completely like, why would you bother? Because you've already built the other thing by then.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a facility that just didn't make any sense on its face, or at least not the facility, but like that action. You build the staging area expecting that's going to speed up your ability to build things, and in theory that was true if you planned way ahead in advance. But triggering those abilities took a half an hour. So you're just like, right. Why don't I just build the thing? Building the thing takes less than half an hour. So now it just takes 5 seconds, and so you can turn it on practically instantaneous. And then it kicks in, and then you can build whatever you want to, and it'll take a lot less time. I don't know how we got here. Holy crap, no. You are not coming any closer. So you'll notice, I think that was the same bloater I saw before. He was still following me from when he encountered me, a couple blocks away. These zombies do not give up. They hear a sound, they come to it, and me holding still was probably a bad move.
This is where the new Screamer can become a real problem as well.
Yes, exactly. They can turn any situation into this situation.
Well, and they can get you up there too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
With their barf.
I did not realize that actually. I thought their barf was shorter range than that.
Hiding on top of cars, if there's a blood screamer around, is a very temporary thing at best now. Now, you can climb up on top of buildings and things, and you should be safe. But
those zombies are still chasing me from back there. They're not giving up.
Let's see. Tired. Another quick thing about facilities. The parking indicator when driving a vehicle into a parking slot at your base now reliably appears very quickly, so that you're not wondering whether or not you've hit that parking sweet spot.
Okay, Joe just pointed out to us in Slack that people have also reported ferals tackling them off the top of cars, which is great. We should make that happen more.
Yeah, I mean, short of just letting zombies crawl up on top of cars, please let it happen.
All right.
Let's see.
I don't think these guys can see me yet.
We got some gameplay bug fixes. Things like we fixed that bug that was preventing clients, people who were in another person's game, from busting open doors by using the sprint button. We fixed that so you won't bounce off the door anymore. Let's see. We fixed a bug that made it possible to take a community member's backpack without emptying it first, causing all the contents to teleport to the supply locker.
Yeah, we were terrified when we first saw that bug because we thought that all of those items had just vanished. And we're like, oh no, we found a way to completely destroy an entire inventory's worth of items. We were like, why have players not complained about this yet? It's because, when you do that, it was just teleporting into the supply locker. So, whew, we didn't actually set anyone's belongings on fire. They're all still there. Oh my gosh, these zombies. But yeah, so now you can't do that at all. Now you can't just sort of grab somebody's backpack off them and have all of their stuff just kind of wink out of existence and reappear in your supply locker.
All right, and then real quickly, throwing an explosive now cancels a heavy weapon swing rather than turning the weapon invisible, as neat as that was. We also fixed several minor outfit clipping issues, and then maybe the most important note of the entire patch notes stream.
I can't wait for this.
Clouds no longer continue to move while the game is paused.
However, backpack straps do. Backpack straps still continue to wiggle when the game is paused. We have not removed the most important visual feature in our game.
You can't take that wiggle. You gotta have the wiggle.
So, yeah.
That's it. I'm dry.
So okay, cool.
We're out of notes.
Look at those. Let me move my character around a little. Gonna dodge around a little bit and then pause. Oh, look at those wiggly straps. Wiggly straps. They're great. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, that's all the patch notes. So, that's update 23. So, a lot more went into this than just the Lethal Zone and the Stay Frosty pack, though the Lethal Zone and the Stay Frosty pack were certainly plenty. There's a lot of really hard work and really good work that went into this from our colleagues over here at Undead Labs, and we are just, I don't know, I'm so proud to be able to put out this update and see just all the positive reactions from players out there enjoying it, and I think that the folks that we work with should take a lot of pride in the work that they did here, because there's some really great stuff in this update. I'm having sort of a renewed enjoyment of the game. Like, I just started on my personal stream. I just started a playthrough on lethal difficulty. I've still got only 3 characters, and one of them is in the infirmary with blood plague. I've got no cure. I have no idea. If I'm just gonna get my entire community infected and then we're just all gonna die, that's probably what I'm headed towards. So yeah. So I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you all out there are having a lot of fun too. Let's see here. Do we have any questions? Any last minute questions anybody wants to ask us? We got 8 minutes left before we're done with the stream.
All right, Vers from Twitch figured out my real life Easter egg that I was wearing today for the Stay Frosty pack. It is my T-shirt that is an Easter egg to the movie where Stay Frosty came from. So.
Oh, that's right. Oh, what have I got in my hands? I grabbed a different gun than I realized. I didn't realize that. Oh no! Oh no! Floater! Oh, I'm infected now. Oh crap! I don't want to get Vicky killed. I like Vicky. No. Okay. No. Hey, buddies, all my friends in the base, stop hitting me. Take care of these zombies. I need some.
Marked for death. We've gone over this a lot. There's no way we can add weather to this game at this point without doing some major re-engineering. And actually, we'd have to redo a lot of the material assets as well. It would probably take us a very long time, like a year. So I just doubt us ever coming to the conclusion that it's worth spending the time just to get weather in.
We have definitely heard. I mean, we understand why people want this and why they're so interested in having weather, and so it's definitely something that we're going to keep in mind as the franchise grows. No promises specifically, but we understand that something folks want. We do take that seriously, but it's just like Brant said, there's so many things we could spend our time on that would make a big difference to the experience in the game, that it feels like, you know, we can make a much bigger improvement to the game if we work on other things rather than weather.
Real quick, Mod Complex says ETA on the D bar and the simple S2K, which just by we just forgot to put them in. Or actually, we realized too late that they weren't plumbed correctly into the system, and so they should be showing up really, really soon. I don't know if they're in yet or if they're still waiting.
What is he doing up there?
He's taking out your sentries.
I guess. That is the smartest juggernaut I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've seen them doing that at my base too.
I guess that's what I get for having such a big old watchtower.
I don't think it's a bug, but it's scary as hell.
I just walked off the edge. Man, that thing takes a lot of... Moses died! No! Not Moses! No! Oh, man. The guy whose face we borrowed for that also left the company a couple of months ago. No, Sylvia! Sylvia, no!
No!
What? No, this is the worst.
That judge is taking names.
Was it the Juggernaut? Is it? Oh, is he down? Is he down? Let's get to him. Oh, no, I can't get to him on the slope. No! Ah! Okay, good. He's down. Oh my gosh! What the? I haven't even... This thing loads one shell at a time. Oh my gosh. Get off me, you jerks! Okay, I'm gonna run. Okay, friends, hold them back. Look at me, I was getting all cocky. I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this whole stream. And you know, I'm not gonna lose any characters. It's gonna be great, I'm gonna look like some big old pro. And then... Where's that screamer? Oh, you jerk! Die! You also die! Ugh.
I am enjoying this Mark for Death. I love watching Geoffrey's community get eaten.
No, bloater! Okay. Oh, yeah, just stay there, why don't you? Oh,
Hey,
good, I got a bounty. Sweet. Awesome, that was the, I don't remember which one that, wait, was that killing with fire? No, I got killed with fire. What did we get? It's not hordes. What did I have in that slot? I don't even remember now. I am too distracted.
The Midnight Solstice. So one of your people at the base was killing zombies with their crossbow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I thought it was Moses who had the crossbow. I think we must have two crossbows in this map.
I still see him flying by your head as you're fighting here.
How is this? Clear out the remaining zombies. We're at the very end of this. Oh. Come on. Die. Why won't you die?
It's hard to call it winning. Just keep wearing us down.
That was a great way to end the stream, Geoffrey. With
Okay, well, I'm gonna go help Vicky now. Vicky somehow, like, despite the fact that Vicky, as the leader of this community, apparently made a lot of really terrible choices. Wait, where'd she go? Oh, she got up to help fight. Is she still alive? She's technically checked into the infirmary. That's gonna be a fun edge case to solve. She's got to get back. Come on, come back to your bed. Vicky, where'd you go? There you are. Okay, she's going back to bed now. Well, I'm glad she probably saved somebody's life by coming out here and helping out. But yeah, go back to bed. All right, here we go.
So there's let's see. There's a suggestion about is UL planning to remove the long use cure animation because the despawning zombies is kind of immersion breaking and it doesn't always work.
Yes, that is something that we are working on right now. So we wanted to be able to ship that with the lethal zone. It was the last thing that fell across the wire from when we could ship. But because people are getting infected and needing to cure themselves so much more in the lethal zone, it became pretty clear that we needed to improve that situation. So you remember in Heartland, you actually have a much faster cure interaction than you have in the core game. And so we are in the process right now now of porting that interaction over to the core game so you can use it. So some future update, I'm not sure if it's gonna. It might have to wait until update 24. It might come a little bit earlier. I'm not sure, but probably look forward to it in the next scheduled update. You should have much faster cure animations. So normally I don't promise things like that in advance, but that is a bad enough experience for people who have run into it that I really want you to know that there's hope, there's light at the end of the tunnel, that we are working on a solution to that.
All right. So we're at the end of our time here, but I would like to say that this isn't the end, guys. We haven't stopped working on this. We've got lots more great plans that will also include now that we have lethal. It's gonna make things super crazy fun.
Yeah.
And I'll just quickly say thanks everybody for showing up today. We really love doing this. We love seeing the reactions to Lethal Zone, and I'll shut up now. Bye.
So we're gonna get out of here, but thank you all so much. Thank you for all the feedback you've been giving us, and keep adding stuff to the wish list, keep talking to us, because we are far from over. There's so many more updates coming in the future, so many things we're in progress on. So next week, Joe Swarner is going to be back. I'm also going to be here, and we're going to be talking about Lethal Zone tactics. For those of you who are maybe new to the Lethal Zone, who haven't been playing on the highest difficulty level for a while, if you want to know, get some tips and tricks for how to survive there, that's what we're going to be talking about. So come back next week, and we're out of here.
Do you want to know what my Lethal Zone tactic is, Geoffrey?
What is it?
It's run, and then realize your terrible mistake and go back to green zone.
Mine is just die. Good thing our deaths are so entertaining.